Hey guys, Fantastic Mr. S here. You guys might know me for the Thomas the Train's Engine Railway Series adaptations, Thomas the Tank Engine's NWR adventures, and some of my voice roles that I've done with you guys. But today, I figured I'd do something a little different. I mean, you guys know what it is. It's called Thoughts on Thomas. It's where I talk about things that happen within the Thomas fan base, be they positive or negative, and I give my own account on it. But I think it would be best if I start off with something a little more positive, actually. But do be forewarned. Like I said, I'm going to get into more negative stuff as the series goes on. And it's not going to be a very long, podcasts aren't going to be very long because I don't want to bore any of you guys. But anyways, here we go. Our first topic for our series is going to be, what happened to your favorite Thomas YouTubers? Well, let me put... Okay, hold on. I've been around... I've been watching Thomas fans and series since YouTube has been around. Since YouTube has basically started, actually. And among these series include Captain Punjab's Bachman Thomas series, Knuckles' Hornby series, and several Trains productions. Among the most famous being those of Shunter Productions. He's been around since basically since YouTube's been around, actually. And well, that's all well and good, and they've left a lasting impact on the fan base. I think you'll notice that a lot of them have basically slowed down. Either that, or they're just not around anymore. And then sometimes you wonder, why is that? Where'd they all go? What happened to them? Well, actually, a lot of things have happened to them, actually. There's been a lot of factors as to why a certain user isn't around anymore, or why they've slowed down or stuff like that. Well, there's a number of reasons, actually. The most obvious one is that real life happens, folks. It's just the way of the game, you know? Okay, how do I explain this? Sometimes they get, okay. Sorry about this, folks. I'm just trying to... life happens, folks. They either start new career opportunities, and it gets in the way of them wanting to it gets in the way of their personal projects, and it prevents them from continuing their series and continuing to be part of the Thomas fandom. And I get that. You guys remember Sodor Dark Times by Scarloy123? Yeah. A while back, Scarloy123 created Sodor, the Dark Times series, and he had a plan to reboot it, but I don't know, things got in the way, and then it just never happened. And he's okay. And he was also he also helped to start Sodor Island 3D, but after that, I don't know. After a while, he developed. I remember he developed carpal tunnel syndrome, and that prevented him from doing any modeling on as large of a scale as he used to. And then he started going. And then later on, he started going to medical school, and that really got in the way of of him wanting to. It got in the way of him being able to produce any more projects that he wanted to. I remember. I remember recently he. I remember recently he made an announcement about that, and he still wants them to happen, but he's still unable to make that happen himself. So he's made a call for other people in the Thomas fandom to adapt what he's already written, and I can't wait to see how that goes. Personally, I think Tynes, the guy who did Tobias and the Half Pariah, I think he would be among the top candidates for the job. I think he could adapt those stories great. But that's only one example, and that's only one particular reason as to why those YouTubers might not be around as much anymore. Another reason could be that those users simply have lost interest in doing it. It's like they've left their mark and now they just want to move on with their lives. And I totally get that. Or if they do, or if they are still around, and if they are producing content still, it's on a limited basis. That's what I've noticed. I've noticed this with I've noticed this with users like what's a good example? This with users like sorry about that, folks. Oh yes, and there's people like Chris Thompson. You guys remember him for his Microsoft Train Simulator series, and then he switched over from from MSTS to Trains. Very popular, a very popular program with a lot of Thomas users. And he too had big plans. He had big plans to adapt every single Railway series story the way he wanted to do it, like the way he felt that the Reverend W. Audrey would have approved. And as some of you know, he's grown up with the Railway series and prefers that over the TV series, and I don't blame him. But he's had some issues with his computer that's put his plans on hold, actually. And I don't know if that's still happening, but I would love to. But I would still love to see that if he still wants. I don't know if that's something he still plans to do, given that he recently gave up on the show because he thought it was going downhill. But if he does still plan to do that, and I know that he just got a new laptop and has been running trains on it again. I mean, that would be great to see, honestly. Yeah, but that's entirely up to him. It's entirely up to him if he still wants to do it. But if he does, like I said, it'll be great, you know. And like I said, others, but yeah, like I said, others, they simply just don't want to do it anymore, or it's just not fun for them anymore. I don't know if it's because, and that could be that, and that could be for a number of reasons. It could be because they found other hobbies, or because of negative factors that are really killing their motivation, whether it be certain bad apples within the Thomas fan base. I know that's happened quite a lot, actually. And that's eventually what led to Soda Island 3D closing down. Or it could be YouTube itself. I know that with all the stupid shit that they've been doing to people lately, and with its unfair policies and its hypocrisy, especially especially when it comes to fair use. I've had to deal with YouTube's fair use bullshit multiple times, but unlike a lot of people I know that have just given up on fighting these claims, I went ahead and fought those claims and won, even even if my even if I've had copyright strikes on my account. But I won those cases. But yeah, uh, I don't know if you guys remember the Unlucky Tug. He was the guy that did those basic thoughts on the on those Thomas specials and the CGI series. But yeah, he stopped making those videos. He didn't just no, he didn't just stop making those videos. Those not too long ago, but he pretty much gave up on the Thomas fan base altogether. Simply because he didn't want to do it anymore. He just didn't want to do it anymore. And as much as I miss as much as I miss hearing from him, I I have nothing but respect for the guy. I I'm glad that he's doing what he wants to do, and rather than burning himself out. And personally, I think, and and this goes with those who are well, who used to make Thomas content on a more regular basis, but have slowed down recently. And as their time on YouTube progressed, I think it's a smart move to either end it completely or just slow down and do it as a one-off thing. And I think one-offs, they're like, okay, the reason I think that the one-off thing or just slowing down is a good move because it adds a sense of surprise for the viewers, like a special kind of thing, just so they don't get all worn out. And and if you and if you want to end your series, like I know that Wild Nor'Wester plans to do that, and and I totally understand why. If you do plan on it, that's I commend you for that because it's better to stop now. It's better to stop while you're ahead than to run it into the ground. Because I know that not just I know that a lot of movie series and TV shows have done the opposite. They have run their franchises into the ground, and they've run and they've basically run out of ideas, and that's why people that's why people and oh yes, Devron, I heard that yes, Victor Tanzig is well, actually, he's not really slowing down. He's still continuing his series, but yeah, he does. Yeah, he's been going through a bit of depression lately. He's been through a lot, and but yeah, I think he's doing the right thing by slowing down. You know what I mean? Hell, when I worked when I worked on my own train series, I started slowing down too. At one point, I even took a break, not because I was not because they weren't fun anymore. If they weren't fun, I would have stopped altogether. But because I felt that I had adapted every untapped railway series story that I could. But of course, that I always changed my mind whenever whenever an opportunity arose, whenever the opportunity presented itself. After I stopped, I mean, first I stopped after I adapted Duck and Dukes, but then when a Mavis model became available, thanks to Wild Nor'Wester there, I started up again. Yeah, if ever a new opportunity arose, that's when I got back to adapting those stories. And then it wasn't after it wasn't until I after I adapted What a Picture that I start that and yes, Jonathan, that's a very good point. Coming up with ideas is not easy. And I should know. Okay, where was I? Oh yes, back to where. Sorry about that. Right, back on topic. But it's not like I'm not making content anymore. It's just I'm doing it on a more limited basis, and I've got my own, and I've got another series that I'm working on with R.J. Bansma. I think some of you know of it. It's called Thomas the Tank Engine's NWR Adventures. I'm currently working on that, and I enjoy it. And I'm really proud of what we've come up with so far. And I'm proud of the stories we've written that haven't even come out yet. I can't wait for you guys to see them once they're all finished. But even then, I hope that someday, well, but I do, but I, but there is going to come a point where the NWR adventure, where even that's going to have to end. I mean, that doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon, but I just don't want it to go downhill, if you know what I mean. I don't want to subject I don't want to lower my standards or anything like that. It's better to end the series while we still have fresh ideas than to keep it going like a zombie, if you know what I mean. And, yeah, I don't want to be like The Simpsons or Family Guy for that matter, where they just run and where they long since run their series into the ground, and people have just given up on both series. I know I have, except for the classic episodes. Those will always have a place in my heart. But fear not, there's all. But with every YouTuber that leaves or just slows down, there's always going to be there's always going to be new content creators popping up, and the work that they produce, whether it be whether it be adaptations or original Thomas stories or new models or musical pieces, a lot of them are just they're just downright fantastic. Let me tell you, and it's their work that keeps me motivated. It keeps me wanting to be a part of the fandom, even with all the bad apples running around. And that's not to say that that's not to say that I like every single series that's come out and every single story that people have written, even those who have written great stuff. But yeah, it's that kind. It's those kind of projects and the people behind them that I've made lots of friends with that keeps me going. Even even some of the older YouTubers, I've I've made friends with and have become part of their projects. They I'm still inspired by them, and some of them have even told me that I've managed to inspire them as well. Funny how we've come full circle here. And that's always going to be the case for as long as people are fans of Thomas the Tank Engine. old fans are gonna older fans are gonna leave their mark and then go, but if they don't, they're probably gonna slow down. And then newer ones are going to they're gonna fill the void. They're gonna become well known amongst the community. So some of whom even one of whom actually even got a job working as a writer for the official Thomas series. I mean, congrats to you, buddy. Living the dream. And even when they're still, and even then, I mean, they may be working on the real Thomas, but yet they're still interacting with the rest of the Thomas fan base, and that surprises me actually. That's quite humbling too. But yeah. Anyways, that's all I have to say really about all this. Is and that's basically what's happened to your favorite Thomas YouTubers. It's happened to some of my favorite Thomas YouTubers, and it's no one's fault. It's no one's fault for the most part. It's nothing that they did. It's just the way life works. I mean, you think that, and sometimes you think that, well, actually, you think that they're gonna stick around forever and they're gonna keep making great content forever and ever, but that's not the case. Life changes, and in the grand scheme of things, it's just for the better, folks. And I think a lot of you will understand that as time goes on. Okay. Now that's all I have to say about it. And thanks for tuning in, folks. If you guys have any topics that you'd like me to cover for my podcast series, Thoughts on Thomas, or any ways that you feel that I could improve it, just let me know, and I will be more than happy to oblige if I can. Hell, if you guys want to come on the show sometime, just hit me up and I'll see what I can do. Anyways, peace out, fellas, and dry rails and good running. I'm signing out.